Congressman, good morning. Welcome. Why did you cast a no vote?
It was a no-brainer for me. There was certainly some good stuff in there, but the process, this is not the way our government is supposed to be working. The process was a complete failure, and it is a disgrace to the American taxpayer. The bill was nearly 6,000 pages long. It's easily one of the largest bills ever passed in Congress. In fact, it was so big that the printing presses broke down at the Capitol, and the computers crashed. And so that further delayed our ability to even actually see the text. And they gave us just a matter of a few hours to read 6,000 pages. No amendments were allowed, no committee work for the final product, just a handful of members and their staffs who gathered in secret to really write a $2.3 trillion bill, and the rest of us could just take or leave it, and to do so in less than 4 hours. I believe it was irresponsible to my constituents and the rest of the American taxpayers, and to vote on something of that magnitude and not know the details of it.
Congressman, as we all know, Democrats blame Republicans for holding this up. Republicans blame Democrats for not getting this done, as Lindsey Graham said back in July. How did we get to this point? I mean, we're almost 10 months into this pandemic.
Well, you know, I'm going to, of course, anyone who's on the other side of the aisle watching this program might say, yeah, well, he's just blaming the Democrats. But listen, Sandra, Ms. Pelosi and her team had every opportunity. In fact, in excess of 40 times, we tried to get PPP passed and authorized, and there was $137 billion still sitting there, and we couldn't touch it because she wouldn't deal. And so now we have, but it was done at the last minute behind closed doors. And as I said a second ago, that's not the way to run a railroad. And I just didn't feel like it was a responsible thing for me to do, to vote for that and vote on something that I hadn't read. You can't read 6,000 pages. You can't even read a synopsis of it, you know, in just a matter of the time that they had given us. And I had actually made requests to have certain items put into it. Some of them made it early on, but some of them were not. They shut the door and had a closed operation where you couldn't get any amendments into it.
Congressman, as far as what's in the bill, we can do our best to show our viewers what we know so far as dollar amounts for vaccine distribution: $69 billion, $22 billion to states for testing and tracing, $7 billion for broadband access is in the bill, $45 billion for transportation and transit agencies, rental assistance. When it comes to vaccine distribution, rental assistance, obviously the $600 that's going to the American people that so badly need it. Do you agree that this will go to some degree to helping struggling Americans?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was some good stuff in this bill, but there was also climate change. There was a reduction for ICE funding. You know, we've got a wide open southern border that the president has done an amazing job trying to control without any congressional help, and to cut ICE, you know, by $431 million is just simply not a good thing. There was also some gun control in there, background checks, money for that. There were some things in there that were good. There were things that were bad, but the overall process of the way it was passed, the way it was done, the magnitude of it, and no time to really study it, was what made me decide to vote against it.
Well, and you cast your vote no, and you are here to talk about it this morning, Congressman. We know that is headed to the president's desk. He's expected to sign it this morning. We'll be watching for that. Congressman, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Merry Christmas.
And to you as well.